Good afternoon. Let me get things set up here. I've already got my paints activated. We've got tea brewed. Got some chai there with some milk. Frog and Toad are in attendance. Gonna hang out with me here. And I'm gonna be painting Flightpath Coffeehouse today, which I'm excited about. So, I forgot to pick out some music, so hang tight while I decide on that too. Looks like chill lo-fi vibes. Let's give that a shot. Make sure that's actually going to be heard, at least by me. I don't know if this stuff is going to be, copyrightable or not copyrightable on, if I ever post this on YouTube, which I usually do, so eventually. But let's see. It's not going to play for me. Maybe. Nope, that one's taking too long. Okay, let's go back to one that isn't live, because usually that's a little easier. There we go. Sorry about that. Oh, that's very quiet. Okay, it's coming. It's coming through. Ha ha ha, Christmas music. Okay, now we can get started. Let me pull up my image over here. Cool. All right, today I am painting. This is Flightpath Coffeehouse. I've done the inking, save for whatever happens down here. I don't know what happens down here because there's cars parked here and I didn't want to draw cars. It's not exciting, so I don't actually know what's happening, but we'll make it up. It's part of the artistic license you get when you do stuff like this. So this, I actually do have multiple reference images, unlike my last page. So hopefully we can get some more detail. I don't think I got rid of all of my pencil lines. Some of that is intentional in here because there's like a chevron thing on this sign that's yellow and white. So I don't want a big black line going in between that. So I'm trying to leave some of that. But the lettering doesn't need to have pencil lines going through it. Okay. The rest of that seems okay. So, as always, starting light to dark. Gonna mix up some colors here. I have way too many greens mixed in here. Get Frog and Toad situated. Whoop. Actually, here's what I can do about that. We're actually gonna wipe some of this out. I don't want... I got some, okay. We don't need this. And we might as well just clear out a second one here. So I'm just wetting these to get them up, and then I'm gonna wipe them out with this rag here. Because I don't need, I've got like 2 purples, 2 greens. We don't need that much mixing space on for 2 colors. Okay. And then I'm just gonna use a little inside section here and wipe that out. And then I've got a fresh mixing space for new colors. Ta-da! There we go. I probably could have planned that a little better. I already need some tea, so. nice and warm. I hope it's warm where you are. Oh, this sky is bright blue. That's gonna be nice. I'm gonna just do that first because it's out of the way. I'm not gonna like run my hand through it or anything, so. And it's so blue, we're even gonna use some of that. Yeah. There we go. Yes, the gay frogs. These were not, these were two different knitting patterns. And they were, you know, themed differently because probably copyright and stuff. But I was like, you know what? Instead of like, it was like, I think the frog had like a red and white striped sweater. I was like, he's just getting a brown sweater, which is easier for me. Striping is annoying and tedious in knitting. And then like, yeah, change the color palette a little bit. And yeah, you have the gay frogs instead of whatever they were before. Because yeah, when you see a frog and a toad pattern with cute clothing, you're not gonna just make them plain. Yeah, I'm super pleased with how those turned out. I even went out and bought the like eye slits, safety eyes. You know, I have plain black, but I wanted the colored like animal eyes, so we even got those and got them coordinated, so I'm super happy with that. You know, okay, we're gonna try this. So this is a tree over here, but there's still sky coming through. It's very dense, but kind of far away, so we're still gonna give it some like speckly sky stuff here. Speckly sky stuff, that's a technical term, I hope you know. And like hope that it works out when I go and paint the actual tree part. Okay, I hope that works. If not, this is all just for learning. Okay, and we're gonna do working light to dark again. We're gonna do this brick is like a tan color, a very light tan color. Same with under here. The roof is like a darker kind of reddish brown, so we'll have to do that. So get my light tan color. A little bit of that. And I am being very daring by just basically mixing on the paper. Because I have mentioned it before, but I am impatient and don't like waiting to find things out. So I'm working very quickly and sloppily. But you know, it makes it artistic. I'll work around this clip. I'm actually gonna squeeze it off to the side. There's a little bit more there. Okay. Otherwise, this page is kind of curly from the other side, and it will like sort of shift sideways, and I want it to be mostly as flat as possible. Okay, and so I got too much pigment over here, so I'm literally coming in with water and like sort of soaking it up so I can use it over here without having to make more. Yeah, watercolor, you said you have the hardest time with watercolor. It can be challenging because you have to kind of work quickly because of, you know, it's water, it's fluid, it goes where it wants. So you have to really be, you know how that works and know where you're putting it. I found it really difficult for the longest time, but I learned that I think I was trying to like control it too much, and you can't do that. So it's been a really great practice for me to like learn to let go of that control and let it do what it wants. Okay. Actually, just gonna pop this yellow in here early because actually no, that has to dry just a little bit. Otherwise it's gonna bleed in there. Did that on the last page. Colors were bleeding into places where they shouldn't because I was too impatient. I have to have some level of like, you know, gotta let things dry in the right order. I'm just very bad at doing that. Okay, now let's try this roof, which is gonna be mostly this color. Ooh, that is really intense. Do, do, do. I'm also rather caffeinated right now, so that's not helping the impatience, but it does sort of help me loosen up. So you can see like I put down there and blood in the sky a little bit, but it's working out okay. Get a little more of this brown. Ooh, a little too much brown. Ooh, you brush too hard and the paper tears. That is probably the fault of the paper more than anything. Like, yes, you do want to be very gentle with your brushwork, but having quality paper makes that so much easier. If the paper you're using is too thin, like I've done watercolor on printer paper, and yeah, as soon as it gets soaked all the way through, which takes no time at all, it will tear. This is a 300 GSM watercolor paper, and it's very thick, almost cardboardy, like you can hear that. So it can hold and soak up a lot of water without bending or tearing. So look into watercolor paper. And I don't have a specific brand I recommend. Any available watercolor paper at your, local craft store will work great. Okay, so because I know I'm gonna forget it, this is just a little gray outcropping of a wall back there. Just do a little shadow. Okay. Hi, Liska, I see you. See you in there. All right. This is all very dark because it's like an outdoor patio thing under this shaded thing. I don't know. I'm not sure how I want to approach that. It's gonna be hard. Okay. But I know this is brown. All right. Don't forget to tap the screen and get those likes going. That will help push this out a little further. Get some more friends in here. This is also, I mean, it's like brown, but it's that weathered wood where it's starting to become gray. So I'm gonna want to add that in at some point, but we'll start with a little bit of brown. Anybody doing any shopping this week? I tend not to. Well, I mean, you do a little bit, but I only will shop with brands I already know I like and for things I already know I need. And if they happen to be discounted, all the better. But I'm not going out of my way to do like gift shopping or anything. It's too much capitalism for my taste. Okay, I think that's enough brown, and let's pick up some gray. So it's a lot more gray on the bottom. There we go. Okay. See, we're getting more of that wood sort of texture and some shadow and some dimension. It's all fun. This is like a bench area. This looks so relaxing to go sit in. Maybe I should do that today. Although, is it going to be crowded with people who are out doing that shopping? And should I avoid it? The introvert's dilemma. You never know. There we go. Okay. So here's the other deal, is there's people at little tables back here that are in shadow and much darker. So we're going to add some of those sort of hints and details. And same with this flooring. This jazz music is getting me in the mood for like a Charlie Brown Christmas. It very much has that vibe. I actually heard a great piece on NPR's Fresh Air about Charles Schulz, who is the creator of Charlie Brown and Peanuts. And they did a little segment on the music for the theme. It's like this kind of unknown guy who like had a jazz hit and then just like only became known for being the creator of the Charlie Brown theme, which, you know, all good things. but that was cool to hear. Okay, again, I don't know what I'm doing down here because I don't really have my reference cleared up that much. Quick tea break. I don't know if this is going to be dark enough for this area, but we're just getting kind of like blocking in the first areas in a sort of light to dark fashion. Seeing what we need. Like that bled over a little bit. We don't need that. Okay, so this back here, it's just a fence. And that's gonna be more tree and greenery. This is back to my other, well, I actually don't have any idea what that's supposed to be. Probably sort of the same deal here, but let's give it a little more tan. So it is like a walkway that just sort of goes off yonder. And there were like stairs coming up here, but I don't have a photo of that. So we're just gonna just sort of suggest that things are going off that way and not really worry about that too much. Okay, here's the other fun thing. Fun thing for me is that this is brick. So I'm gonna get to add that texture in kind of last, I think. Because if you ever do any washes on top of detail work with watercolor, it'll just sort of blur it all away. And I have learned that the hard way multiple times, but I still keep throwing in details before I should. So we're gonna try to remember to wait and do that later. Okay? Help remind me. Yeah, frog and toad. These are my knitted frogs and frog and toad. Frogs and toad. There's only one of each. I finished knitting these guys last week, and they give me so much joy, so I thought they would hang out with me and spend some time while I paint. It's a good book. I haven't read them in ages, but they are so cute. So yeah, the patterns for these were not originally, you know, they're not frog and toad specific, but when you give them a little sweater, you just, I mean, you have to. They're so stinking cute. You could even, I didn't do this because I wanted to, you know, be able to pose them, but you could like stick a little pipe cleaner in here and like pose the leg up and then like make it so he's sitting. It's so cute. But I can't find my pipe cleaners, so right now they're just floppy, but once I come across those, we'll maybe do that. So they're posable. Also, Toad's pants keep sort of falling down, and I saw someone else who made these and gave him like little suspenders so that would stop happening. I was like, oh my gosh. So Toad might get suspenders someday. Glad you guys like those. They give me much joy. Okay. Now I think I can come in with this yellow chevron-y deal because this is dry. So back to my, and I have very faint pencil lines in here to help me. Otherwise it's very difficult to know where to put these. And because yellow is lighter than everything else that's gonna go on here, I'm just going on top of everything. I can always re-ink some of those lines if I need to. There we go. Okay, I think that is good. Get some of these white specks cleared up. Make sure it's vibrant enough. Yes, I like that. And then let that dry and we'll come over top with the rest of the colors, which is not much. I think the Flightpath looks like a dark cobalty navy, and these are technically red and then green-ish, but I just did them inked, so I don't know if they'll actually end up getting that much color. But I feel like doing these window frames, which are just brown. Actually, these are a dark brown too. Okay, and yeah, we'll come back to that. Oh, I forgot this little sign here. Let me zoom in on my reference. Okay, I can't read what this sign is, but it is also yellow. And there's a little airplane on it. It's like some sort of like, you know, crossing sign, I think, but for airplanes, which is adorable because it's, you know, Flightpath Coffee. So I'm gonna make sure I don't forget that yellow. And oops, their little mailbox. Here we go. And this person is wearing blue. We're just gonna make up this guy's red ball cap. Some like brown hair. And then a bunch of gray. Everybody's wearing gray. not being too precious about what's happening back there because it's just sort of shapes and blobs. Same with these people, although they've got a little more visible. Let's see. Thank you. I do end up making these into prints, and I've been considering postcards for a long time, but it's trickier to do. And I use Winsor & Newton watercolors. These are, they're the tube paints, but I fill my own pans. So you can see this is my last empty one here, and they're just the watercolor. I think these are quarter pans, and I use a magnet to snap them into my tin here. And that way I can swap out what I like and don't like. Speaking of, I need to swap these out because I don't use them. Take a quick little tea break. Okay. These are so cute. I have no idea what is going on here, but it's some sort of plant arrangement. Plant light, plant pendant. I don't know. And I love these trailing plants out here. Just really adds to that homey vibe that these coffee shops do so well. I don't know if anyone else digs a coffee shop as much as I do, but they are amazing at setting up that like comfy, cozy space. Okay, so here's some interesting thing is that this is receding and it gets very dark very quickly, but there's some sort of like skylight situation going on back there. So you do get occasional flashes of wood. So I want to fill that in so that that's visible when I go over top with the darker color. Just the drive-through. I mean, if you have a day off, a nice afternoon, and you want to just like sit and read a book or draw or whatever, like just go chill out at a coffee shop, and like a neighborhood coffee shop, not a Starbucks. No shade to Starbucks. I will happily sit in a Starbucks as well, but it's these neighborhood coffee shops that really like want it to feel like a second home. And it's wonderful. Yeah, it is hard to find the time. Like I could be doing that today, but I'm like, it's rainy and it's Black Friday. So there might be a lot of other people who are hanging out at coffee shops in between shopping trips or recovering from their shopping trips. And I'm like, and the roads are going to be crazy. So I don't necessarily want to fight that. But is that just excuses? Probably. So I also plan on decorating my apartment after this, so gonna blast the Christmas tunes and decorate. So thank you for all the likes. Every time I check over, I'm like, oh yeah, likes are a currency, and thank you for hitting those heart buttons and helping other people find the stream. It means a lot. Okay, I'm torn because like the shades are drawn but they're open, you know, so you can kind of see some of the light fixtures inside, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that, but we're gonna try. So there's like a light, like a little pendenty thing there and there, and they get kind of orangey. And then like brownish, reddish brown, but it's like a wash. Let's see. Yeah, kind of that color. See, I should have waited for that to dry, but did I? No. That's what I mean when I say I'm impatient. I'm just like, I'd rather just avoid this than wait for it to dry. I even have a blow dryer over there. Do I use it? No. Why, when I could just make my life harder? Okay, that's kind of what I want, but it does need to be darker than that, so maybe now we'll let that dry and then come back over top and futz around some more. It's a start. Okay, but now I want to do these fun letters. I want to do detail work. I think we're actually going to do this Prussian blue. Yeah. Here's the other thing, conflicting thing about loving coffee shops is also loving to make coffee at home, especially recently. It's become a lot easier, a lot more common to learn how to make your, fancy coffees at home. So it's like, do I want to go out of my house and spend money to get a fancy coffee, or do I want the joy and the fun of making that at home too? Because I really like doing that. It's a balance, and part of it you want to support local business, and the other part you want to save money. So, both ways is fair. Okay. This is just dark, so this is easy to do. Okay, now I want to try another layer in these windows. I'm going to do this horizontal streaky thing to indicate that, like, blinds that are giving that direction without having to do every single individual blind. And that's not going to be the last layer, so we're going to come back and do more. Okay, do I want to do trees next and greenery, or this like dark patio area? I think trees, because that will fill in a lot. So I'm going to come back with my, actually, we're going to do the big areas first. There's like one branch that's like right in front here, but then everything else behind it is really far away. So let's do a couple dabs of yellow where there's some light sunlight hitting through. So we're gonna get some really bright green leaves. And everything else will come in this color. And then we'll kind of avoid these blue spots a little bit, and that will help let that sky come through. At least that's my hope. I'm making this up as I go along, so we're trying things out, seeing how it works. Actually, I think that's working quite well. I'm pretty happy with that. Just got to keep it up. Hi, Bethany. Thank you. Good luck with the cleaning. If you're around later, I will probably be doing some body doubling while I decorate. Gonna be blasting those Christmas tunes and yeah, getting out the Christmas decor. But if not, have a good time. Okay, I am very pleased with how that is looking. It's drying down a little flat, but that's okay. We'll come in with another color to give it some more depth. I use, these are Winsor & Newton watercolors. They are the tube paints that I fill my own half pans with. So you fill these half pans so they dry down, and then you can reactivate with them with more water. Okay, I am so happy with how that turned out. Doing those blue spots to start and then working around them works really great to give that sort of the sky peeking through and that speckly effect, along with those yellow spots for the sunlight. Okay, okay. Ooh, I'm pleased. I learned a new thing. Almost out of tea, and we're getting towards the end of this. I'm just gonna do... Ooh, actually, I just got a hint of what's happening down here. This is the ground. I thought this was gonna be like raised with stuff underneath. It's really not. So now that I can kind of see that, it's like basically dirt. Sorry, I'm working from like reference images. These have cars parked in front of them, and I did not want to draw cars. So I was like, we'll figure that out at the painting stage. And here we go. I was like, we'll just, you know, shade that in and make it so you don't really pay much attention down here. And it works out. But I just noticed, and it's, you know, just some dirt and gravel of a, you know, typical parking lot. And then there's some dappled sunlight, you know, shadow, tree shadow over it. So we'll do that later. But I just want to give this a grounding, a basis, you know, base. Thank you. This is a little local neighborhood coffee shop. I've been doing a lot of those because I love going to little local coffee shops and discovering new ones. So yeah, this one was very precious, and it's got this outdoor patio scene going on here. I love that. The inside's really cool too. This other page is going to be the inside, and I have that inked. And it's neat because they have art hung on the ceiling, which I just found was like a really cool composition. And you can see where my pen didn't quite explode on me, but it like blopped like this gross ink splotch here. So I'm gonna have to like figure out a way to cover that up. But that's gonna be the next page. Hello, friend. Hi, Jamie. How's it going? Okay. Trees drying. I'm gonna come back to do that. I think I'm gonna need a little more. I need like more warmth in here. It's missing something. I'm gonna see about mixing up kind of a tan, reddish tan, kind of shadowy color. I don't know. I just want this to feel a little more congruous. You know, this even has, yeah, this roof is even like the wrong tone still. I am bouncing all over the place. I apologize. And you know, it's gonna be weird and cool, but accurate is there is a smidge of purple in this roof color. Oh yeah. And I said a smidge. So there's that. Yeah, isn't the inside of that cool? Like, it's got the, you know, like eclectic art and sort of mid-century furniture. I don't know where they got that stuff. It's probably worth a fortune now, but I bet you they got it real cheap at some point. That stuff used to be all over here, and now it's been snatched up and really hard to find. Okay, I keep bouncing all over the place in this. I'm all right with that. Okay, and I mixed up that color and I haven't done anything with it. Hang on, let's, yeah, I'm worried because, yeah, that's gonna be, I maybe should have thought of that first. Because that is not pure white. Right now it's that pure paper white, but it's, you know, shaded under this awning and it hasn't gotten that shadow yet. So let's see what that does. And hope I don't lose too many of my lines. Yeah, basically I'm gonna just have to be really careful around these letters. Yeah, I just lost a lot of definition right there. Oh no. But we're committed. Gonna make it work. Okay. I'm happy with that color and that tone, and we might just have to come back and like redefine some of those edges. And that's okay. That's not the worst. And it feels more like in the same space, you know, instead of just like chunks, just blocks like sitting next to each other. It feels like it's kind of working together. Does that make sense? I don't know. Thanks so much, Devin. Thanks for hanging out. It was good to chat. Okay, tea is gone. That might put me in trouble, but we'll make it work. Okay, now I want to define a few more of these important shadows. Like what's going on with all these bits of timber, 2x4s. Okay, here's a question. Is anyone else into watching those really cheesy, like Lifetime and Hallmark Christmas movies and whatnot? Because you know they're terrible. You know they're awful. They're like the same plot over and over. But there's also something comforting about knowing what to expect with that. So if I'm in the right mood, I will binge the heck out of those. Full knowing, like they're bad. But aw, hi Weasley. I think Asher's sleeping in the other room. He's like mad at me or something. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I have not been in the mood to catch those Hallmark movies yet, but I'm sure it will hit me. And that's why I'm so glad they keep on coming out with like sequels to these awful series, because I'm like, oh, it's the same characters even. I don't even have to like learn new names, you know? Okay, we're coming up on needing to do this area. I keep like kind of avoiding it, but holy smokes, I just looked up and we're at like almost 4,000 likes. I did not see that jump. Thank you for those. Okay, and this, I'm gonna have to be very particular about the details in here because there's a lot of like bright little spots that are gonna be crucial to keeping this like visible, including way back here. More trees and greenery and light if you look all the way past the edge of this building, the other side of this porch. You can see back here. You're surprised I like those movies. So I do and I don't. That's what's like conflicting about it, because they're, they're terrible. They're just so bad. But when you want your brain to turn to mush. That's what I turn on during the holiday season. It's just, oh my god, like, yeah, I have no defense. they're awful, but yeah, the predictability is comforting. That's what I'm saying. It's like when you're in a new location or country even, and you're like, you know what? I know I have access to all this like specialized food, but right now I'm out of my element and I just want a greasy fast food cheeseburger. So you find the nearest McDonald's and you go and get that, because you know what to expect, and it's just that kind of comfort. It's the greasy cheeseburger of television, I guess is what I'm saying. So, yeah, I have no defense, but they are fun. Okay. One more. Okay. I'm scared. We're gonna start this. Yeah. After haggis, you go for McDonald's. Yeah, right. It's like, okay, I tried the weird thing. It was weird. Now I need food my stomach can, knows what to do with. Yeah, you go for McDonald's. Alrighty. Yeah, there we go. I think the other favorite Christmas movie I have is White Christmas, with like Bing Crosby and what's his name? Frank Sinatra. It's just one of those ones that my mom made me watch growing up, and I enjoyed that. Gotta be careful which version you're getting, because parts of it are racist as heck. But the music is lovely. Frank is in Holiday Inn. Right. Okay, thank you. That's the other favorite, is Holiday Inn. Also, parts of it racist as heck. So you gotta be really careful. Like, I think they did blackface in something that's been cut for most editions now. Yeah, super cringe. Avoid that. Yeah, no excuse there, but again, music of that time, there's nothing like it now. There's analogous equivalents with what's his name, Michael Bublé and whatnot. You get the modern crooners, but it's nothing like the OGs. Speaking of OGs, Frank Sinatra was apparently involved in some shady mafia stuff. I think I read part of his like huge biography. I only got like 60 pages in because that thing was meaty, but he like grew up in the burbs of New York that were near all that, which I found fascinating. Yeah, like it's wild how much of a small world it is in history. But you have to remember, we just hit 8 billion people living on this planet, and they did not have that many people to run into. So it was much more likely you were going to run into, you know, some of the famous or infamous people of the era when there were fewer people to run into. But still fascinating. Okay, yeah, I'm desperately avoiding that center area here. Okay, there's like some there. I also just realized this music is not, it's playing in my living room, it's not playing in, oh, ha, it's because the volume was super low. Well, there, you can probably hear that better now. Ah! That got extreme. Yes, that is Frog and Toad. I finished knitting them last week, so they're just hanging out with me now. Aren't they adorable? I'm gonna give them a different arrangement. And it's hard to see Toad because he's so long, so he just lays in Frog's lap. Thank you. Okay, I'm quite happy with how these are coming along. I haven't messed anything up yet, but there's still opportunity to do so. I've got to be a little careful. Thank you, Rachel. How's your day going? We just doing the scroll. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting kind of in the zone here because I'm trying to be pretty careful and intentional about where this very, very dark, scary color is going. To not like wash out everything important. Okay, and these people, this person's wearing a white shirt, which is not exactly just that color. And I think we're just gonna give them some khaki pants. And then the person next to them that's facing us, I can't see too well, but like, let's just give them pink. That sounds fun. And then this person will need just a little bit of shadow, which I'm gonna do with blue. There we go. That's better. Okay, so since I've done a lot of shading and shadowy stuff with that Payne's Gray, I want to come back and define some of this wood color. some of the timber here because it's we're sort of losing some of it. So we're just gonna warm it up a bit with this tan, which is, I believe, raw umber. This is my newest color that I added to my palette because I was sick of mixing tan colors. I tend to use kind of a beigey tan a lot, I realized, so that's why I decided to find one that was already made for me. And this fit the ticket quite well. That's kind of how I put together my whole palette. I knew a little bit of color theory from classes. I started with some basics and then just added on colors I needed from there. A lot of like in-between colors, like I have like this aqua, I think it's an aqua green, which is like a blue-green teal color, and this umber, and some varieties of red and orange red, and then blues I needed to sort of build out. For whatever reason, palettes love to give you lots of yellows, although I did have to go get this lemon yellow, I believe. I was like, I need bright yellow. And I love this, especially for bright green leaves. So there's that part. Oh my goodness, and we're basically doubled to success and likes. Thank you. I hope your thumbs are good. But it is appreciated. Okay, and then this is like a tin roof. Oops, way too dark. Come on, tone that down. Tone that down a lot. There we go. Rescued that. That was scary. Okay, that is gonna be it for now. I think we got just a touch of gray there. And we're gonna do some brick detail, but that's gonna be very, very last. Let me tone that just a little bit, because let's see, it's kind of a silver door frame. That's the word, door frame. Okay, and we're gonna do these leaves because I have not forgotten them. And they are very bright green leaves, which is why I'm starting with this yellow. And then while it's still wet, you can just drop in some of this lighter green and they will sort of blend together, giving that sort of leafy, veiny effect. Without too much effort. You know, work smarter, not harder. Cute, okay. And then that did sort of blend it in with the background, but that's because I haven't done my third layer on this, which I will do shortly when those dry. Okay, now I'm reviewing if there's anything else I want to cover to make this all make sense. And I think It's just gonna be some shadowing and then detailing of the bricks. So let's see. Might try some purple shadow. I haven't done that in a while. I've been using Payne's Gray a lot for my shadows recently, but I do like a good purple shadow. See? How cool is that? And that's just with this, whatever I had on my palette here. mystery purple and some other stuff, I don't know. Okay. We're getting near the end. Ooh, there's a lot of shadow under these guys that I did not do. That will help to make it look like they're actually seated and not floating. It's important. A little better. Okay, tree green. As I said, I was gonna do that. Just a little bit of sort of tree shadow. And that will help these leaves pop out a bit more. Okay, I missed my reference over here. Okay, yes, this can be darker. This is like the neighbors, like trees kind of leaning over here. Okay, that should help. It's fun because I can see, I get like a thumbnail preview, which is actually a technique you can use in art to check like your composition and your colors and how everything views. But I'm getting that in my stream preview over here, so I can actually kind of see how it's looking from a distance at a small scale in my phone, which is neat. Which means I want a little bit more right through here. what did I say I was gonna do? Brick and then shadows. I think that was it. Probably shadows first, because again, that will wash everything out. And again, we're doing purple shadows today. Okay. Okay, and because I don't want to lose all of my brightness in this, I took almost everything off my brush except some water and just whatever residual purple is left on there, because I don't want to lose my lettering or my line work here. Just adding that shadow in as delicately as we can. And there we go. Okay, and I know there's gonna be a little bit more in here. Get a little more purple back. Because doing the purple on the timbers in here means they're in shadow where the ones on, like the very first ones, are not. And that helps bring those forward and push everything else back just a little bit. Which is why I'm gonna try and clean that up. So I didn't want to do that. Thank you. I appreciate that. And then with a very thin brush, this is just a little lip that is going to be in shadow. As well as this person. Okay. I'm actually gonna give them just that little bit of detail. Okay, and then the other shadows, which are gonna be real quick and easy. It's gonna be on the ground here. Do 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 do. More tree speckles. See? I didn't need to know exactly what was going on under here, just have an idea of what the environment is like. And since there's sort of a tree speckle up here, we're gonna just throw the rest on the ground. And then I didn't have to draw those big ugly cars that were in front. And then give a leafiness. Okay, I think, oh my goodness, is that about it? Doing my visual once over of my reference images just to make sure I didn't miss anything crucial. But once this dries, I'll maybe, re-ink a little bit of this that got a little lost, and then clean up any, I know there's white lettering on the door here, so I'll do a little bit of that and a little bit of highlights. Otherwise, I think this is about done, except this will also have a little bit of tree shadow on it. And just to push this back, undo this clip here. Oop. This is like the neighboring business we don't really want to pay as much attention to, so we just wash it out so it sort of fades away visually. Not important. Our focus is over here, and with all the detail and the contrast right there. And I think this is about it. So that was fun. I think I might come in here just to try to clean up some of these white specks that I tend to leave in some of these areas. Just knock them down a little bit. But thank you all for joining me. I hope you enjoyed watching another sketchbook page getting finished. I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3 more pages. 2 of them are inked, 1 needs to be inked, but then this is my first fully completed sketchbook from, from this year. So going all the way back to the beginning, and I can see my own improvement, and I'm very happy with how everything has been coming along. So yeah, you can check out, some of these are already available as prints on my website. The rest of these might become prints soon, maybe by next year. But this has been fun. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you guys again. Don't forget to follow. Bye.